In July 2015, KCA University, in partnership with African Garage, launched the Top 25 Under-25 Entrepreneurship Fellowship Award. The award is geared towards recognizing efforts by the young entrepreneurs under the age of 25 to create wealth and solve social problems through business creation.
Top 25 Under 25 is just an award to young entrepreneurs under the age of 25 who've been able to do something with their lives. And these are entrepreneurs who started out small enterprises and have been able to grow them. So we put out there a call for nominations, people that people know, or people themselves, they can actually apply for the award. They forward to us the work that they have done, we evaluate, and then we rank based on performance, impact, and scalability of the business. So in a nutshell, that's what the award is all about.
In 2015, 25 entrepreneurs were awarded the fellowship, and this was the start of a journey through which they would undergo a 4-month business acceleration, personal and leadership acumen development program. The award bootcamp is the commencement of the acceleration process. The 2016 bootcamp took place from 31st March to 2nd April at the Judiciary Training Center on Kiambu Road, Nairobi. During the 3-day camp, the entrepreneurs were trained on how to develop strategic, implementable, and bankable business plans with key performance indicators which would be tracked based on the set timelines and milestones.
Opportunity if one comes your way. So maybe for an entrepreneur, I think that would be one way to look at things.
The key learning areas of the bootcamp were goal setting and powerful visioning, phase innovation, that is ideation, startup and growth, business modeling, business strategy, organizational development, and team building.
So innovation is incremental.
The awardees were addressed by great entrepreneurs and the movers in various sectors of the economy. They included the former Information PS Dr. Bitange Demo, among others. On day 1, the bootcamp was opened with introductions, opening statements, and orientation.
My name is Steven Mashua. I'm from Afro Media and Cheza Sports Academy.
I'm Nancy Amunga. I run a courier service company called Dana Communications Limited.
I'm Braddock Sugilo from 1000 Rights, a site in Trust.
My name is Juliet Atieno, founder of Stunning Leather Designs. I design shoes, and that is my job.
My name is John Garrett. Hello, I'm David Jenda. I'm a student at KCA University.
My name is Sheba Chie, and I work with Center for Entrepreneurship.
Hi. My name is Brenda Curry. I'm a travel agent. I do tours, events, and airlines tickets. I'm also a student. Thank you.
My name is Mbono Chilo. I work at the Center of Entrepreneurship.
I'm Kenneth Mugena. I run an advertising firm at Food Ventures Kenya. But they are the young writers.
Hi. Good morning. My name is Jerry. I work in NISCO. I'm an African country.
KCA University Vice Chancellor Professor Naomi Damba officially opened the camp.
Through the work of Kenya National Chamber of Commerce, UNDP, and KCA University, we are committed to be innovative in the counties so that we can expand our work to those who cannot reach us or those who are not going to school at all. We are going to start from Trans Nzoia. Last week ago, we were talking Trans Nzoia. I spoke with a number of Western governors in that area, and they're really excited about moving ahead. Postbank CEO Dr. Anne Karanja is very critical in our development. Thanks, David, for walking us through reading materials. Kenyans are not reading, okay? Raise up your hand if you have read a book in the last week. Hey, you're different. These guys are different. And then I will figure out what book you have read. Let's see, because I won't let you off. Read. Look at all the innovators around the world. Look at all the creative people. They read constantly. My house and my environment is full of books. The books on my coffee table, the books in my bedroom, the books everywhere. You must continue to learn because the only person who cannot learn is a dead one. When you are dead, you're gone, so you cannot learn. And so you must continue to learn. CHESPA, Mr. Paul Nyaga, sponsoring Top 25 ceremony in August. That was very important. Chairman, Mini Bakaris Ltd, Mr. Min Manji, for financial support that hosted this book camp today. That is very good. We remain open to explore additional possibility, corporate and also other kind support in order to help you. Let me conclude by saying the KCA will be committed overall to sponsor an award of $10,000 US to support the name of our parting DVC of Academic Affairs, Professor Rosemary Maina. This award will be named after her, and we are very, very committed to supporting you in that case.
That you must try and identify something that is unique or offer a service that is unique to your sector, that will make sure that you can provide that as a service that is demanded by the community. The last one, which is really about managing your personal life, is by one of the motivational speakers who is now deceased. It's called Jim Rohn. Jim is J-I-M and Rohn is R-O-H-N. It's called The 7 Strategies for Wealth and Happiness. And it's also a very nice book. I have read it, and perhaps have a look at it and see what can benefit from that. So,
how do you position yourself as a business so that at least you don't have competition, you don't have competing resources, you don't have competing customers, you don't have all these things? You need to teach yourself to have think outside the box. What everybody says, think outside the box. Everyday decision has to be based on innovation. Everyday decision has to be based on a simple decision like your inventory.
On day 2, the boot camp was a beehive of activities. Key speakers included Alex Moragi of Deloitte Kenya, Joseph Ogutu from Safaricom, former PS Dr. Bitange Demo, and Joki Karuoya, the managing director of Keroche Breweries.
Now, we do advisory with so many clients, and we thought it's very important just to share with you some of the challenges that we normally see our clients facing. And so people normally have fantastic organizations, so it's like having a rope that is strong, but there's a weak link in between. And some of the challenges that we've seen, which you need to take note and be careful about as you run your organizations, is about growth. Every organization nowadays is looking at growth. We want to grow. I'm sure even for your ventures, you don't want it to be the same venture that you are running currently. You want it to go higher than that. It's cut across the board. Then we also have cost containment. Everyone is looking at how can we cut costs. You don't want to spend a lot of money, then you make your products to become more expensive, such that you can't even take it to the market because the competitors will beat you down. Globalization is also another theme. You find that what is happening is we are nowadays called a global village. So whatever is happening in the developed world, in America, US, and other world, you also need to align yourself because the world is evolving. It's a global village. Whatever practice is happening there should also be happening here. Then there's also the evolving customer needs. So what is happening nowadays? Initially, you remember when we, maybe it's my age, I'm not under 25, but I remember when we actually used to struggle to open a bank account. We used to go and beg, justify, plead that you want to open a bank account. And actually at some point we used to be kicked out of a banking hall. So I normally have a very good example I give where when I was joining uni, so we were ready to get the help money. So you had to open a bank account so that the money can be pushed into your account. So I went to one of these international banks and said I want to open an account because there's some money that will be coming to the account. So the first question was, can I maintain a minimum balance of 30,000 Kenyan shillings? So this is a person who doesn't even know what a 5K is in the first place. Now, compare Equity Bank with the international banks that are running in this country. Who are the leaders? It's KCB, it's Equity, the local banks, because they understand the local setup, the local dynamics. So even for you, do not be threatened by the multinationals or the blue chip companies that you'll be competing with or who are playing in your areas. You can actually, because you understand this market very well, you understand the people very well, so make it work for you, okay? So the other thing is about the technology change. What happened to organizations? Initially when we used to go to most offices, we used to find a lot of files and all that, but computers came and replaced files. Nowadays it's a clean desk. So even for us, same thing as we do our ventures, let's keep in mind about technology. Let's think ahead, be a step ahead to think about how can technology come and disrupt what I'm doing. And I'm glad we have enough people in the technology area. So I'm sure you're always updating yourself on what is going on.
Harrison Minor.
On this day, the entrepreneurs broke into groups as they performed the group breakout session and the Blue Ocean strategy.
Business, I'm at the name of the business you take to start. Go through all those steps with the business idea of your business. Then you share this idea now. Shamaliba, you give us 5 minutes. You go to Maliba. Then from there you share. That's it. Is that okay?
Stunning leather and color design.
Okay.
Stunning,
Gentlemen, table of gentlemen.
Yeah.
Yes. Which company have you chosen? Yours.
Stunning leather and Ankara designs.
Okay.
Yeah.
Leather.
Exactly.
Fantastic. I need to talk to you like April the last week.
Oh.
I need to hear some experience on what I saw in the leather market.
So from there you tell us your vision. Okay, to break down. Our goal majorly is to stop people from getting that passion behind the things that have been imported. That is the American things, Italian and Ethiopian as you say. We want to build our own industry in Kenya, make our own leather products, and make Kenyans basically depend on their things. That is to say, you buy things from Kenya. Shoes, food, and clothing, electronics, and everything.
Like how do you intend, how does the working? How do you intend to beat DHL?
Our vision, yes, it's to go globally. Like this year we're planning to go to the other main where there's demand. You know, like for Korea, you can't go to your machinery your market. So we are planning to go to the major cities like Mombasa, Nakuru,
Good morning. My name is Kip, as you heard, but the whole name is Ikon Kijana, which I like to refer to myself as a serial entrepreneur. And I read the profile of this group of 25, and I must say I was quite blown away. I said it must be quite an incredible session, and I really wished and hoped that I would spend even perhaps a better part of the day interacting with you people. My father used to say that the strongest metals are born out of the hottest fires. So 1995 and 1996 were years of turbulence for me. And one thing that failure taught me is when you're in a situation of failure, you know who your real friends are. Have you ever been in a situation where you're walking down the streets in town and you see your very good friend walking the other side of the road, or walking towards you, and when he sees you, he crosses the road? Has it ever happened to you? But I learned something from failure. I learned that failure is the flip side of the coin of success. So I gathered myself, went through the whole stress, and I also found an opportunity in the failure. Because I owed farmers money, I owed KCB money, I owed the landlord money. Essentially, the very little money I was making now from the business that's arrived, the beer distribution business, I was servicing all these debts. And I realized that debt management is a business that one could do. So I formed a credit management company. And we went out and we became debt collectors for the county, we became debt collectors for Total, for everybody. Because every day I woke up, I knew I had debt. And I knew that I'd service the debt of the guy at my door. Not the guy who was going to call me, or not the guy who was going to send me a letter, or not the one who was going to take me to court. So therein, in the crisis, they heard about the saying, behind every dark cloud there is a... So I formed that business, and I learned how to do debt collection. By 1999, we were doing a booming business. I had Total, I had Caltex, we had a lot of business. Safaricom dealership. We then started a company called Capital Airtime. We are now the second largest Safaricom dealership. We have 48 outlets, 250 staff, and we're in the top 100 SME in this country. The same year, I met Patrick Kwaku. We founded Radio Africa together, and I think the rest of it is history. Radio Africa today, I would say, is one of the fastest growing media brands in the country. And my journey in enterprise was really born out of that very difficult experience that I had with failure. So essentially, that was a time when it was very difficult in this country to access credit. It was very difficult to get loans from banks. There wasn't the internet. Things were very different from what they are today. We had a single party democracy, if you call that a democracy. So the operating environment was very, very different from what it is today. Today, I see businesses that are formed on computers. Today, I see opportunities that are bound that one would never have ever thought of in those early days. And what did I learn in this journey? I learned a few things. And I have a presentation called 10 Lessons Learned, but I won't share all of it today because of a shortage of time. One of the things that I learned, and that is perhaps going to be very useful for you people, is that capital is overrated. It is actually possible to set up a thriving enterprise with no capital. Do you believe it? Yes. Capital is completely overrated. In fact, if you look at the figures yesterday, it said that Chase Bank had just negotiated a $5 billion facility for SMEs. In the 90s, that was unheard of. Nobody ever told you that we have money to lend. If you went to a bank, it was like blowing water out of a stone. It was really difficult to get them to look at you. They were looking at very few people because of very few reasons. But the ball game has changed completely today. And the one thing I want to assure you today is that there is more than enough capital chasing good opportunities, chasing good ideas. So if you are in enterprise, and I know all of you here are budding millionaires or already there, one thing that you must never use as an excuse not to do business or not to grow your business is the lack of capital. Just internalize this. If you consider that capital is a hindrance to your business, then already you're operating on the wrong footing. I learned that it's very important to trust your instinct. Trust your instinct. Believe in the consultants, but don't believe in them too much. I learned also, through the fullness of time, and I'm now 51, that women are more intuitive than men. How many of you believe that? I can tell you, believe me, I know men won't be happy for me to say that, but women are far more intuitive. Sometimes I'll be sitting down having a chat with somebody, and my wife will say, I just don't get the right vibe about that person. Do you know most of the time she's right? And in your judgment as well, believe what the consultants say, but also trust your own judgment. And then one of the ways of owning your own skill about making yourself a better judge is you must take time out. In the course of your week, you have 7 days. The Bible says 1 day is for rest. And in my opinion, really you need in that day quiet time. You need to reflect on all the important things that you're doing. And you need to listen to your instincts. But you see, if you're in a rat race and you're running every day, like many of us do, you will never have time to actually decipher what your intuition tells you. So essentially, it is very, very crucial that you learn how to use your judgment, how to use your intuition, and be guided by your intuition. A lot of times people will tell you don't do this, but if you are completely resolutely sure, enterprise was never built on easy decisions. If you're completely sure, then you better go for it, and that's what enterprise is going to do. Please go ahead and do it. Choose the right partners, choose the right employees, create an environment of trust between yourself and your partners, between yourself and your employees. Another thing that I learned in life is one of the things that you can do for yourself to achieve happiness, to achieve satisfaction, and to achieve fulfillment is do what you enjoy. Really, do what you enjoy. And I began my presentation by saying, I hope that what you pursue is not only financial objectives. If it's about money, I've got money. I've done that. I've already got people that they contribute to my life every day. I work very hard now in the early days after my short experience with failure. I work very hard. Very, very hard. I mean, I've been doing 15, 16 hours a day. And one thing I'll also remind you, it is nothing that replaces hard work. Yeah? Nothing, it's input-output theory. What you put in, what you're going to get. Unless, of course, it jinxes you. I'm not superstitious, but then there are some people who have jinxes. So, do what you enjoy. And in doing what you enjoy, you will not only achieve fulfillment, but you will also achieve success. So, I know you guys are on this journey. I wish you well. I won't say much more. Suffice it to say that as you proceed, I'm always there for you. And if there's anything that you'd like to hear from me at a later stage when I'm not planning a visit, like we are today, I'll be available for you. Thank you very much.